This back series difficulty level is going to be mild to moderate. And the best time to do this is going to be in the mornings, right when you wake up. So we're going to start this off by getting in the right position on our hands and knees. Now, you can mess this up already just by getting in the wrong position. So how you start is going to be how you finish. And the starting point is really important if you want to finish well. Notice that my hands, my fingers, they're pointing straight ahead, and my thumbs are pointing towards each other. So you really want those thumbs pointing towards each other. My elbows are locked out, and I'm going to slightly, if you can see that, externally rotate. So it looks like that. Externally rotate my elbows. My hands are right underneath my shoulders. My knees are right underneath my hips. A lot of people make mistakes here. They're kind of all over the place here. They have their hands out too far. So just that starting point is really important. So the first exercise, what we want to do is we're just going to kind of emulate the wobble chair, and we're going to do some of our wiggles that we already might know how to do and to loosen up. So just a couple wiggles here to loosen up. But once we've done that, then we can move on to our more advanced exercises. So exercise number one is it's a reaching exercise. So in this cross crawl exercise, what we're trying to do here is we want to reach out with one hand, and with our opposite leg, we're going to reach back. Now, you don't want to take your foot and or have your knee bent or have your foot point, your toes pointing down. You want your toes pointing straight back here. And you're trying to keep everything perfectly level. So another big mistake is people kind of start doing this, and when they were doing that, they're losing that cross crawl challenge that they're putting in their back. So you're going to reach out as long as you can, and you're going to feel balance issues here. So trying to keep it as stable as possible. And we're trying to hold this for a minimum of 10 seconds, but preferably 30 seconds, and then we can switch. Now, a little word here. So really point that back toe, point that arm, don't let it fall down. We want to, once this starts getting a little easier, then we can start playing with it. So we can start doing little circles with our back leg. You could write the alphabet, so work on the dexterity of the hip muscles. So writing an A with your toes and then a B, you could take that through the whole series. But the idea is you want to get at least 30 seconds on each side because it is a form of a postural exercise. The next exercise is really, it's a small movement, and it can be really difficult to do right. So watch this one really closely. What you're going to do is stay in that same position and working, instead of reaching, mostly on the rotation portion of strengthening our back. So what that's going to look like is I'm going to twist my hand up just a few inches, or for some of you, maybe just like an inch off the ground. Just that little twist right there. And then we're going to take my knee and I'm going to twist the opposite knee. I'm going to lift that up. And so it looks like this. Now, and you just hold that for 30 seconds. A great exercise for stabilizing and working those cross rotational resistance type of strengthening. Now, the big mistake here is people always do this. They do like the dog pose, where they just kind of start lifting their leg out like this, and they start like they're balancing all over the place with their hand. So it's just the knee, if you can see that, comes straight off the ground. That little movement right there, and my pelvis is just lifting up. That's it. So you hold that for 30 seconds, and then you hold this for 30 seconds. So they are postural exercises. Make sure you hold for 30 seconds. And then the final one is a bridge. So we want to get, for this one, all the way on the floor. And then from this position, we're simply going to push our butt up into the air. Now, before you start this, make sure that you're pulling your tummy in tight before you squeeze your butt and push it up in. Now we're completely protecting our back as we push our butt up into the air. So the advanced versions of this, once you hold it, notice my hips are in line with my knees and my shoulders. They're not sagging down here. They're straight up here. And once we get into that position, the next step is to take this up a notch, you're going to extend your foot up one-sided so that you can really feel right now. So my left foot or my right foot is up, but my left foot, my left butt muscle, my left low back, it's doing all the work. It's working really hard. And you can do that for 10 seconds and then alternate 10 seconds here. Really point that toe, push your butt up in there, keep it high. The big mistake here is to either let it sag or to let it droop. So people are weak one-sided, so their hips start to droop down on one side but stay high on the other. That's no good. You want to keep everything nice and neutral and flat and straight. And then you're all done. So we did the 3 exercises all together. Each one takes 30 seconds on each side. So that should take you, 1 minute per exercise, 3 minutes total.